Welcome to the Legged Podcast. As you all know by now, the Legged Podcast is powered by Monterex. Make sure you head over to monterex.com and take advantage of the 15% off they offer if you type in Legged at checkout. Monterex have been the main sponsor of the podcast for a while now, and their gear is a belter. So head over to the website now and take full advantage of the Legged promo code. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another Patreon special. First off, we got some new Legged legends who signed up to Patreon this past week. We've got, apologies if we missed anyone, I think it was Connor O'D, Thomas Murray, Joe Wharton, Dean Boakes, I think it is, Will Worthington, Jamie Carey, I think that's my old mate from school, Jay, Paul Mooney, Tom Lee, Jake Leathers, Rowan Garnett, Lewis Trim, and Anthony Molly.
Well then, a couple of my schoolmates there as well.
That's a little increase, that, boys. Nice one. Boys and girls, I should say. Thank you for the support. Boss, how are you doing, George? George turned up half an hour late today.
Don't even fucking start you.
You know what? We're going to put it out there, right? We'll get out the way. There's been a little heated conversation here. Love Jordan.
Pure tension in this room.
Love Jordan a bit, but he's fucked up.
No, I haven't.
And he doesn't think he has. He's like Boris Johnson. Just admit that you're wrong. Right. So because we couldn't agree.
Go ahead, you do it from your side and then I'll tell them.
Okay, and then I want comments in the Patreon to say who's wrong, okay?
You're going to spin this though, you've been around politicians too long.
Fucking politicians, have I been around?
You've got loads of politician mates.
Listen, let me have my say, don't interrupt me though, okay?
Go.
Right, Jordan doesn't take any responsibility for the cameras or the audio. I have to come in and I have to set it all up, okay?
Oh my God.
That's actually from the start, right? So I come in every week, Jordan just sits down and does his thing. I sort everything, right? And most of the time it works fine. We had Mike Wynn in, a great lad from Warrington. I've set all the audio up, the cameras up, and for one reason or another, I don't know why, one camera has not worked. Unfortunately, fucked up. I'll take that, my fault. Thankfully though, the audio did work. No, Jordan's responsibility, all he does is he takes the audio card, he what's called levels it.
All he does.
He levels it. And then that enables us to make the YouTube video. On this particular occasion, the video wasn't working, but we still had the audio. So there we go. I say, right, Jord. But then Jord has put the audio on his computer. It's being sent to an iCloud. And I think on the Sunday when it's due to get uploaded, Jordan says, where's that mic audio? And I said, you never sent me the audio, it's on your iCloud. And he says, I can't find it. And I said, well, like, I don't know, mate, because it's on your iCloud.
Nothing to do with me.
And so that's the issue. So if the camera had have worked, there still wouldn't have been a podcast out, because it turns out Jordan, he's not lost the audio, he just can't find it. So I just think, yeah, you know, my fault the camera didn't work, but we still could have had audio out for people on Spotify, Patreon, etc. But it's not, because Jordan couldn't find it. Jordan, listen, we all make mistakes.
You should be in politics, you know.
We all make mistakes. Jordan should just say, I fucked up. But Jordan doesn't seem to think he's messed up. No. So I'd like to hear Jordan's what reason of why, and then you guys can decide whose fault it is that there's no Patreon out this week.
You'd be a fucking great lawyer.
Come on.
So, we did the thing, everything worked fine, yeah? You said, right, that video hasn't worked, so I said, no worries. So, the one mistake I did make is that I then didn't level it straight away, which I usually do. Just left it on my laptop, because I thought that might not go out there, so I'll just leave it just in case.
Why wouldn't it go out?
Because we didn't have the video. So, at the time, we were like, you know, we don't know what's going to go on there.
Was we?
Your thing where you're like, we'll put a still on, just takes us back to amateur hour, doesn't it?
I know, but it still would have been audio. For
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But at the time, I was just thinking maybe it won't go out, so I'll just leave it there. Then the only saving grace as well that I've got is you have a MacBook as well, so you understand when your storage gets to a certain point, it starts sending things to a cloud. So I haven't lost the audio, which is why I'm not apologising. The audio is...
You're not apologising to the people who are supporting us, by the way.
No, I'm not apologising to you. Not a fucking chance. It's on my laptop, but it's in the iCloud Drive, what it's called. In there, because I do every piece of audio, there is about 112 files of audio. And Mike's is in there somewhere. And I found this out on Saturday night. So sorry, forgive me, I haven't had time to go through 112 separate pieces of audio to find Mike's fucking episode.
You've heard both sides of the story. Whose fault is it that there was no audio out on Sunday for Patreon members?
That's not the question.
Is that not the question?
No, because you said at the start, I lost the audio. I didn't lose it.
Okay.
You There's only one person who's fucked up here.
Okay, I know last week when I lost my phone, I didn't lose it. I just couldn't find it.
No, because that's not true, because yours was gone. Mine's there. That's like saying, right, I've lost my phone, but it's like just stacked along loads of other phones. You haven't lost your phone, it's just in a mangle of other phones.
Okay, so what can be the question be that people can comment? So why didn't they have early access this week?
Because Mike Winnett's episode fucked up with a camera.
That's a fucking lie. Anyway.
No, I'm not saying I'm faultless.
You just don't want to apologise?
No, but what you've done is
Boris Johnson.
No, you've gone, right, oh shit.
For this episode, you're called Boris.
Shit, I've fucked up the video. That's what you've done. And then I've gone, oh, there's a problem with the audio. And all you've done then is gone, fucking get in. I'm out of jail. It's all your fault.
That's not quite what happened, but anyway. I'm gutted. I'm going to have to say to Mike, listen, mate, that boss chat we had's fucking gone.
Yeah, sorry, Mike. We brought you all the way to Liverpool from Warrington and didn't turn the cameras on, mate. Sorry.
Stop bringing it to the cameras, lad.
The camera fucked up.
The audio, though, I didn't fuck up and we had the audio.
We could have got him on Zoom, couldn't we?
We had the audio. Anyway,
could have had him on Zoom.
We apologise. Well, I apologise. Jordan doesn't. I apologise. No. Hopefully, it might be a Brucey bonus in a few weeks and Jordan pulls his finger out and actually finds it.
It'll come out. It'll just be out, not when it was meant to.
It's frustrating a little bit, joking aside, because obviously you didn't get your early access that week. So apologise for that, which is going to...
Yeah, that's the apology, but I'm not apologising for losing it because I didn't lose it. It's just stuck in a haystack of audio because someone does...
Listen, comment and let me know your thoughts. Anyway.
Anyway. Now, you're alright after breakfast I just bought you?
You fucking bought me a cup of tea and a pan of chocolate.
Yeah, there you go. Going up.
Thank you, Jordan. Thanks, Boris.
£8.50.
We need to stop doing that, lad, because it's fucking rip-off. We've got a kettle there. We bought a kettle.
I haven't got fucking pan of chocolate still, haven't you? Whatever they're called. Good, then. Not that good for that much money, though.
No. Good news on the old quiz.
Yeah, it's flying.
We've
gone.
Got 2 tickets to sell.
Is it? 2 tickets?
2 tickets. So if you're not in...
Sorry.
It's like Monday. So this will be out Wednesday. So you've got 5 days. Mm-hmm. 2 years get down there. 2 tickets left.
I started putting the questions out over the weekend.
Have you?
General knowledge. I'm expecting some tables to get 0. I've been digging.
Have you been harsh on them?
I've been digging, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Should we tell? So obviously the people who come in, there's a general knowledge round, Legit round, which is facts and figures about the podcast.
It's kind of mixed. Going to be mixed in with a bit of a picture round, a bit of a higher and lower round.
Yeah, and music.
Music or sport, I think.
Musical, yeah. So it's a tip, depending on the.
It's a typical quiz, but there's going to be a bit of a Q&A in there as well. Say cash prize and a raffle as well. We're going to be raffling one of the amazing bits off you might have seen in the studio.
Yeah, what should we raffle
for the old McVeigh Foundation? I think we take a Liverpool and Everton one down, and then the winner can pick whether they want Liverpool or Everton.
Yeah.
And then, so hopefully, we're just going to charge a £5 at a ticket, and then we'll try and raise a couple £100 for the old McVeigh Foundation.
Couldn't be giving money to a better organisation.
Yeah. Mark and Joe will hopefully be there as well, which would be nice. So.
Yeah, but I can't wait for it. It's going to be a boss night, hopefully one of many.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking if we sell at least 30, then it's enough to make it a decent night, but there'll be 50 there, so...
And that's a perfect number in the Anglers as well, isn't it? So everyone should have a good time. But someone mentioned about doing walks, that which we're going to do next.
Yeah, I would 100% be up for getting a little coach. I don't know how many seats a coach holds or whatever.
Get I think it's like, you obviously get minibuses, can't you? But then I think you can get 26.
I think we get a coach.
Yeah, I do.
I think there'll be more than enough people up for a big walk.
I think, I said to you, didn't I, there's a weekend in May where there's no footy on. And I think the Monday's a bank holiday as well. So,
that's a shout.
You know, if we put enough, obviously notice.
I done a boss walk, it's called a horseshoe in the Lake District. I think it was about a 10 mile walk, but it was boss, you know.
Yeah, I reckon we do.
So we'll look into it a bit more.
Because it'd be good just to chat to people in fucking open air, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? Hopefully getting a bit of nice weather and that.
So let us know on that, as well as letting us know how disappointed you are in Jordan. Also let us know about this walk, if that's something that you
want. I'm fuming, you know.
Also let us know if you'd be up for doing a big a day out, a legged day out walk. Because the quiz will be good, but it's only going to be a couple of hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas this will be a proper all day.
Yeah, the monthly thing, we'll just keep swapping and changing it, but the walk next, defo.
You know what, it'd be cool as well if we do the walk, we get some ex-podcast guests on, like, I'm sure Scan up you for it.
Yeah, to come and walk.
Because he does all, like, the digital detox days, which would be similar to that, so...
yeah, just get people out in the fresh air, have a laugh, a couple of coffees and that, be fine. But...
liking the idea of all this Lego interaction with the
too.
legends who are supporting it.
Mate, we're going to the next level. And Patreon's the way forward.
So, I told you last week some homework, didn't I? Tinder Swindler. It's not me by anyone. George in charge of the bios and he put, is it Andy or something like that, I think he said. It's definitely not me.
Oh, you're nearly spoken for now. But, yeah, Tinder Swindler.
What are your thoughts? Is he like to blame for everything, or is there a bit of naivety?
He's a grade A
Scumbag.
next to you, isn't he? He's horrible.
Horrible
Man. The worst of the worst. But I'm sorry, mate. There's got to be some self-reflection going on from a couple of them girls. The one girl in particular, the girl from Norway. Power to her for what she did after it, where she tried to protect people and that, but you don't go for a coffee with someone and then just go, oh yeah, go ahead, we'll go to Bulgaria. On business.
Like, she could have quite easily been kidnapped and bloody raped and all kinds. But
And a mate was saying that to her.
She weren't bothered though, because she thought, I'm going on a private jet with a millionaire.
And he's loaded, yeah. Because she said, didn't she, like, oh, you need to be, at the start, she's like, you need to be this, you need to be that, and if you have money, then you're the full package or whatever.
I want to know, Tinder Swindler, he's not a millionaire, right? Andy Grant turns up for a date, go for a coffee, and then I say, bit random, but I've got a meeting at the waste recycling centre I work in. Can you just jump on my little scooter I've got outside and come with us there? That'd be great. Would you mind coming with us?
Be boss to spend some time together.
Do you think she's saying yeah?
No, she'd say fuck off. That's exactly.
I'm not getting on your scooter and going to see you work in a waste recycling centre.
I said to Emily when we were watching it, I used that similar analogy. It was like if I said, "Oh, this is a lovely coffee. I'm going to Skegness for 2 days. You want to come?" What would she have said? She'd have just gone no. Yeah. Mate, I was nearly turning it off. I was fuming.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, because
I just think though that there is a desperation though, which makes me sad about that whole thing of everyone wants love, and you do feel a bit sorry for her, but
mate, she's setting herself up to fail though, and it's Disney's fault. She likes that movie, doesn't she? Beauty and the Beast. It doesn't exist.
No, I know.
I'm going to campaign for Disney to do realistic movies. So like one of the scenes, just like when you're driving in silence on the fucking 62, you just have murder on the way out.
Yeah.
They need to just reflect relationships properly.
Normal doesn't sell though, does it?
Yeah, but she was like, oh, and then he was quite she was talking about Beauty and the Beast, a fucking animated kids movie. Oh, he was a bit damaged, and she's seen the best in him, and he's seen the best. Fuck off! It doesn't exist. And she was like, everyone thinks it does exist. No, we don't. We don't.
Normal people don't.
Fucking idiot. I'm sorry, but...
The problem is, though, it wasn't just her. There was a few of them that he's done it to.
Yeah, but do you know the older woman?
Like the friend?
Yeah. Well, she was like, there's no romance going on here. She obviously respects herself to a certain point. She was like, no.
Yeah, but she was happy to go partying with him all summer.
Yeah, but that's all right, if she wants to do that. But then the money she was given to him was her money. So, for the fact she gave her money to him, that's wrong. But if someone was saying to you, oh yeah, we just get us a loan out. She could have just said...
I want to know how good his sex game is for her to go, yeah, he's worth it.
It's the voice note. Hello, my love. Good morning, my love.
But like, what's he done in that first date? I mean, if you're going to say she's not after the money and she's just after the love and the romance and the passion, how good is that love, romance and passion after one date or two dates to go, yeah, there's 25 grand. There's my American Express. Madness.
Do you know the bit where she was like, he asked me to get a loan out for like... He picked her up in a Rolls Royce, just reply, no mate, sell your Rolls Royce. If he sells his Rolls Royce, where's your job?
My big thing would have been, ask your old fella.
Eh? The diamond game's fucking rough, he said.
Why at one point did they not go, ask your old fella?
Exactly. My favourite character was the bird who started selling all his clover.
Yeah, she was switched on her.
Do you know what? I said to Emily when I was watching it, I don't want to be hard. Like, you shouldn't obviously speak about women and say, like, you shouldn't speak about anyone, but, you shouldn't say she's an idiot, basically. But I couldn't help myself, mate. I really couldn't. I've got no sympathy.
So naive.
But it's society's problem.
It's a decent documentary. I thought that was quite bad. It frustrated me at the end when he just got away with it all.
Mate, talking of documentaries, did you watch that one I told you about Louis Theroux?
I haven't had a chance, no.
Scary.
Jordan texted me saying we share this planet with some scary people.
How do we do? So it's called Forbidden America for anyone. I'm sure people will have watched it, but for some people who haven't. So Louis Theroux's obviously brilliant at the old documentaries. He goes to America to this 22-year-old kid called Nicholas Fuentes or something his name is. He's 22 and he's leading this like far right, crazy white nationalist sort of like movement. But mate, he's got these big conferences where there's like hundreds of people, and he's openly talking about like how, you know, he says like, you know, I'm not racist, but yeah, I think, you know, America should be 80% white. Like, but the amount of people that believe in him. The scary part is he goes live and streams every day. People watch it, and he makes crazy, horrible jokes about people, which aren't funny, but he makes them. But he's like, it all came from this gaming world, like Fortnite and Call of Duty and stuff. So Louis Theroux's going around the conference and he's asking him, how did you come across Nicholas? How did you sort of get in line with this movement? Like, I used to play Fortnite with him, or, you know, I was part of the same Call of Duty lobby or whatever it might be. Mate, honest to God, there's thousands of them.
And what do they all? What just one?
I think they chant something like America first or something like that. But it's like, honest to God, it's so scary because there's a couple. He's got like senators and congressmen and everything backing him now. But some of them think he's some of them think he's going to be president. I mean, he says some like scary stuff. But it's like the people following him. It's all young kids, and like he gets out of his car. Honest to God, they got like this sign where they like put their arms out, so it's essentially like the Nazi thing, but just, you know, physical. But he's like, they're like sort of crying when they see him, in terms of like oh my God, thing. This guy, do you know what I mean? He lives in his Mars.
That's what I mean. That's why I said to you on last week's episode, I talk about karma. I don't think karma's, because he's obviously a bad knobhead, and what's he getting? That he's getting all this glorification and fame, and you know.
But he streams from the basement in his mum's house. He reckons he's become a millionaire.
But he's still living in his Mars house. Crazy,
mate. But then, so like, Louis Theroux's there while he's streaming, and then he comes off and he's like, fucking hell. And you can sort of see that it's an act. A lot of it's an act, 100%, because he's found fame with it. But it's not an act to them people following him if they start doing some crazy shit, you know what I mean? And oh my God, I was watching it thinking, this is the heaviest thing I've ever seen. Scary, mate. He's brilliant, that Louis Theroux, though.
He's done some belters, hasn't he?
Because he was like, there's another fella in it.
Is this just a one part, is it?
I think it's over 3 weeks, but that was the first one. So mate, there's this fella, and he basically goes out into the public, and he straps a
like a camera?
No, it's like an Alexa, basically, to him. And he streams, and like the racist people who are talking to him will play like racist music that'll go through him, but they've got to pay him to do it. So it'll be like, I don't know, Joe Bloggs has sent you £100, but for his £100 he wants to play like this racist song through your Alexa, and he's just standing in the middle of like there's people of every connotation there. Mate, honest to God.
Good little money spinner, to be fair.
Mate, honest to God. And they're like, say this to Louis Theroux, say this, there's £20, there's £100, say this to Louis, I know Louis Theroux's there, say this to him. And then they all go back, and they're back on lobbies and, you know, streaming.
It's fucking scary,
it's
isn't it?
It's a movement, mate, but it's not the sort of movement that's positive. But I was terrified watching it. So, yeah, go watch that. It was on BBC, I think.
Yeah, no, I've seen all the hype around it. I've just not got around to watching it yet. But that's the thing. Like, I suppose it's a little bit like the love thing. This idea of the world's in a lovely place and we can all fall in love and be happy and there's nice people. It's fucking not. There's some proper weirdos out there, and it's a scary place.
Mate, some pure evil as well, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I just think, you know, of all reasons why you can judge someone and think they're a knobhead because of the skin colour is just madness, isn't it?
Scary.
Like, as if that's a thing.
Do you know what, though? And I consider myself fairly intelligent. I can't. Do you know if you disagree with something? Like, for example, politics, different side. But I can look at that and understand why certain people might get behind it. For example, I can understand why upper class people might vote Conservative because...
Well, you know what, you're one yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Not bad. But do you know what I mean? I can understand why they do it, but I can never understand why you would look at someone and be like, I don't want to be associated with you because you're
black
you're
or
a different
you're
colour
Chinese or you're whatever.
or you fancy the same sex. Like, it's just baffling to me. But it still exists.
It goes on, yeah.
More prominent than probably ever.
But I think it comes back to the social media thing. It's so easy to kind of congregate online and form this hateful group when it's not getting policed. Because if it happened on the streets, they just get filled in. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, it no doubt comes to the streets and it comes to the conference when they're in mass. But I mean,
yeah.
But initially, when you're starting out, if you try to find these people in the street and like, oh, are you racist too? Yeah, come and hang around with me, and it'd be a lot harder to do because it just gets stopped early on.
Yeah.
This kind of online thing where you can all come together and be online and it's nameless, it's faceless, you're in your ma's basement. That's the problem of it.
Yeah, but it's like, for example, we're like, obviously on Patreon, we're building a community, right, of people who are like-minded to us, like having a laugh, like the certain things. But like, that's the positive side of it. But there's such a it's like a seesaw, isn't it? There's like a middle ground of where, and then the other side of building a community can literally cause wars, mate. Like, if they get enough numbers, it can cause like
civil unrest and all.
Do you know
kinds,
what I mean? Like, it's so powerful.
I had a really interesting talk actually at the weekend. We were talking to my mate about Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He's come on a lot of criticism recently, and it's a good little debate. I think at what point should a podcaster or individuals or a couple like me and you start taking responsibility? Like, at what point?
For what you're saying?
For what you're saying?
From the start, I reckon.
But I mean, Joe Rogan started talking with his mate, smoking weed and talking about UFC and about politics, and he's thinking at the start,
it's not going in.
I'm sitting with my mate smoking weed, giving our opinion on what we think.
Yeah.
I'm not telling anyone that it's right, I'm not telling anyone that's wrong, I'm just giving my opinion. And then enough people go, actually, he's quite cool, and I share that opinion, and yeah, he's nice, and it grows and grows and grows to now, if you add up all the other news outlets in America, he's probably still got a bigger platform. So at what point does Joe Rogan, or does someone say to Joe, well, no one can even say it to Joe Rogan now because he's that powerful, but at what point does Joe Rogan start thinking, actually, I've got an opinion on Joe Biden, but I probably shouldn't say it?
I think probably the argument is, when do you get professional, isn't it? When do you start picking and choosing what you're talking about? The reason he grew so big is because he didn't do that.
He's not, people want to, the mainstream media, it's in a certain way, there's a narrative, there's political pressure. He's got to a point where he's in a position of fuck you, where he's not answering to anyone.
Nah.
And that's the point, and it's like Joe Rogan could be left, he could be right. People who like him, he's going to have a sway on things, and it's at what point is he got like a moral obligation to kind of not maybe give his opinion on things? Or is it like, listen, it's my little thing, it's my business, I'm just fucking saying what I want.
I mean, Joe Rogan would be Joe Rogan if he wasn't giving his opinion on things, which is where I stand. The use of the word that he used, I think, obviously what started
when he said the N-word.
Yeah, but he said it consistently over
I think though I think there's a deeper issue with that. I think he's come out, he's owned up, he's apologised, and all that.
That's where I'm okay with it. Not, I downright think, he shouldn't have used the word, but I don't believe the word should exist. And I believe that from, black people talking to black people. I just don't think it's a term that should exist.
It is a mad one, and he did say this in his response. It is mad how there's one word that you just can't say. Well, anyone else can't say, but black people can, and it can be used as a term of endearment. It can be used as an insult, but just one section of society can say it, but no one else can. So that in itself is a bit fucked up. But listen, that's the way it is, and white people shouldn't say it, and he has said it, and he's apologised. Yeah. The bigger thing is, though, where I think the kind of conspiracy around it is because he was getting people on to a bit like we have. I don't agree with every guest we've had on, but he's tried to get different people on with different opinions. Yeah. And because some of the people he's had on don't go with the narrative of the mainstream media that everyone should be vaccinated, because he's had some people on who've said, actually, you don't actually need to get the vaccine. You could just, do X, Y, and Z instead. That's also pretty good to combat the virus, because that's not what they want to hear. I think it's caused a lot of pressure on them. And then that has then got to a point of thinking, let's try and find other stuff he's done wrong, other stuff he's done controversial. Because if you're a mainstream media station and you're getting all these views, but Joe Rogan's getting more, he's a competitor.
He's a threat, yeah.
He's a threat. So if you can then put stories out on him that not only, slate him, but then also get your numbers up for talking about him, it's better for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think when he said the N-word, I think that's on the back of them just trying to silence him and this whole cancel culture thing, which is
cancelling what his show is built on in terms of giving a voice to a lot of the time people he doesn't agree with as well. He'll openly say it. I think that is the fact that the mainstream media can't do that. Because they're
trying them.
Yeah, no, they can't have the conversations he has on air.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they're like, he has got USP, he's got a unique selling point, hasn't he? He can do things we can't with a similar audience, which is where he becomes a direct threat. But in regards to what he said in terms of the word, he took ownership of it, and I watched the video, and he broke it down, and his words were, "I shouldn't have used it. I was wrong. I shouldn't have." He didn't make an excuse. He didn't say, my friend said I was okay.
They were all taken out of context. He never ever said to someone, "You are a."
Yeah, that's what I mean. But taking ownership is I'm okay with, and that's what I said. What I meant from by the start. I think, for example, if we went big and someone digged into these episodes and we said something a bit ropey, and then it come back on you, for example, what you would say is, "Look, I said the words. This is the context. It was lower. Apologise if it's wrong." But so I think from the start you've got to start. For what you say, it's on you, isn't it? But I mean, in terms of him going from speaking with his mates to being a professional broadcaster, I don't think he's ever tried to claim to be a professional broadcaster, has he? He has just said, "This is my podcast from the start. I've now just got a bigger audience, but I'm not changing what I'm doing."
It's a hobby, but just with a bigger audience. Now he's getting paid a lot of money for it. But listen, I think if anyone wants to fuck with you enough, you can find anything on anyone.
Yeah, and you can take it out of context. I could go through mine and your WhatsApp. Say me and you fell out, for example, right? Which probably fucking nearly happened at the start of this episode. No, but if we fell out and I could go back through our WhatsApp messages, and there's nothing in there that's dangerous or wrong or anything like that, but I could find something you said, and likewise you to me, where I could screenshot that and go, "Andy said this about this guest." Well, you might not have. You might have just, insinuated something.
Even people can edit things and screen and Photoshop things. There's enough stuff out there. We all post enough now on social media where if someone wants to come after you, they could, and that's unfortunately what's happening to him at the moment. And I think it's because people like him because he's not the mainstream media, and as we've known, the mainstream media are very mainstream media and politics go hand in hand.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So there are certain newspapers, there are certain channels that favour one political party or the other. Joe Rogan is his own entity, and you'd like to think he's not being bought by anyone. So he's got enough money where he can go, "I'm not taking your fucking bribe."
Yeah.
So that's where they're fearful of him, because he's like, he can't be bought and sold. He's just his own thing, and if he doesn't like someone, he's going to call it out. If he doesn't agree with it, he's going to call it out. The news channels can't do that.
Whether you like Joe Rogan or not, though, the one thing I'm happy about is he seems the type of person who's not going to bend over and go, "Well, you've got me." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure out there now, though.
No, but I mean, in terms of...
I hope he doesn't.
No, they could take his Spotify deal away or whatever. I guarantee Joe Rogan will be on, YouTube, Discord, whatever it might be, for the next whatever many years.
It's at what point, though, because it's his own hobby, at what point does he go, "It's not fucking worth it, I've got enough money, couldn't be arsed with the stress."
Right,
and then that's when they also win then, isn't it? Because they've silenced them.
But I just think his personality, I don't think he would do that. I'm not saying he's going to take them on, but I don't think he will ever allow them to. I don't think he would allow them to kick him out the game on their terms. I think if he ever was to leave,
it was little things like he had the guy from CNN on, so CNN tried to make him look like a bit of an idiot and was saying Joe Rogan's telling everyone to get this ivermectin, which is a horse dewormer. Joe's an idiot. And then the guy from CNN come on, and he was like, "You lied to me, because ivermectin's being used on countless other people for millions, been used on millions of people, so it's not a horse." And he was like, "Yeah, we probably shouldn't have said that." And it's like, well, you're fucking lying to people.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's fucking...
I think,
that comes back to the question, at what point to me and you, not that we try and I don't know, I don't like... Yeah, for example, people could say Dean, you've got Dean on, that's wrong, he's spreading misinformation. At what point do you look at a guest or something, or people could say, "Oh, we had, Paddy Lacey on, what a guy, what an amazing story, top lad, we got to know him personally, really nice lad." People could go, you're giving him a platform. He's telling stories about taking drugs. Oh, that's not right. People could go through every episode and say, oh, this and that, you know, and it could come back on you. You don't know, do you?
I think the only thing you ever have to take responsibility of is what comes out of your mouth. I mean, given a platform, for example.
Nah, people can have a go at you for giving people a platform.
Exactly, but I think that's the strength of a podcast, isn't it? That's the reason why. So anything in the world that is ever a success is because it caused disruption to a marketplace, right? Which is why podcasts are probably the most popular thing on the planet, is because we all had TVs and radios, and then this unregulated sort of platform for people to speak come out of nowhere, and everyone's like, oh my God, I don't have to listen to scripted stuff. Yeah. So I think they'll always try, but I think as long as podcasts are not owned by any one corporation, you'll never be able to stop it. For example, we get Dean on. You openly know people. I don't agree with a lot of what he says. But
same.
But why should you not have a conversation with people you don't agree with just because there's rules for other ways of putting out content?
100%.
And that's where it's gone wrong. If Joe Rogan was getting people on and going, for example, getting an anti-vaxxer on, which I'm not, by the way, my kids have got vaccines and all, obviously, when they're born and stuff. And he was getting them on and he was going, and he was like pushing it, and he was like, yeah, tell everyone like vaccines are wrong, do this. Then yeah, I would say, you know, you fucking aiding the problem there. Maybe look at it more impartially, but he's not. All he's doing is going, right, 1 week there's a person who doesn't believe in vaccines. Next week there's someone who does. The next week there's someone who thinks taking magic like he does with, have you ever done DMT? There's people who think that's the answer to everyone's problems. Then there's, you know, he's had people on there who don't touch a single drink or drug. So he's given a range of people a platform.
It's fucking mad times, lads, isn't
it? But they don't like, at anyone, I say they don't like, but the people at the top of the tree don't like unregulated forms of content, do they? They don't like things where there's no rules. And, you know, as you know in this, you know, we've got a fraction of that audience at the moment, but, you know, we don't have, no one tells us what we can and can't do, or who we can have on and we can't. And that's a worry for people who abide by rules at the highest level.
Oh yeah, 100%. Whew. Bit deep, but I think it's an important kind of debate, isn't it? Because it's fucking strange times.
But that's what these Patreon episodes are for. Some weeks it's going to be, you know, really funny and weird. Other weeks quite deep.
We had a couple of questions, didn't we?
Yeah, possibility of World War III breaking out. You
know, I forget whether we speak about this in real life or on podcast, but I had a mate who's in the military.
Yeah, he told me.
And was it on a podcast?
No.
Was it? And he was just saying, you know, I don't actually know who he votes for. I'm guessing he's Labour, but he was just like, why the fuck are people bothered about Boris, whether he had a party, whether he had a birthday cake or not? World War III is fucking going to happen. And he's like...
What as black and white as that? It's going to happen.
Well, he was like, it's fucking close. He was like, if you knew what was going on right now over there, he went, you wouldn't be fucking arsed about Boris and his party.
Can I just be light-hearted in it? Do you know if there is a world war, do I get listed? Do I get sent in?
Maybe, lad.
What time? Lad, I can't do that. I'll have to do a Muhammad Ali, me, man. I'm going to have to go walking. I can't go to a war.
Would you not, lad?
No, lad.
Why?
I know you... No way, mate.
I mean, it would be a different war, obviously, than the one I was in, but...
Oh, mate, I'd be fucking hard.
I loved my time in Afghan, you know.
I know you did, but that was you know, you seen the Marines as your way of building yourself a life, right? So... That's okay. That's okay. I'm not looking to build anything. Especially not in Ukraine. I'm quite happy and by ours.
I
have to do Muhammad Ali, me, man. You're in jug for Jord.
I think, no, what you call it?
I beat the threshold on I'm nearly 30. Isn't it like 16 to 30 or something?
Lad, if shit hit the fan, would you not?
No.
Wouldn't you?
No.
If the Germans were invading, you wouldn't fucking take one for the team?
No, protect my family and that's it.
Yeah, by protecting your family, you'd be fighting the Germans.
No, come on. Sending me out to Ukraine, for example, to fight.
No, it's different than that, but I'm saying, if Germany, they were on the boats coming over, do you know what I mean, to invade England, you wouldn't pick up a weapon and fight?
No.
Would you not?
No, 100% lad, no way.
Who'd you expect to
what
fight
am I fighting for?
What, the fact that there's loads of Germans coming to fucking invade your country?
Yeah, but surely you'd be better saved. It's like getting your family out of the situation, wouldn't you?
Okay, so where do you take them?
Oh, fucking Skyscanner. Where is the not war?
You are a shit.
Why? I honestly...
Here's me giving Albert a kiss. Right, I'm going to go and try and fight these Germans so you can live in peace. Geordie, you come with me. Hang on, lad, I'm just checking in. Yeah, Emily, go on, you go forward.
Aren't you better saved going, children, next, I'm going nowhere, we're getting out of this.
Where'd you go, lad?
Lad, this fucking...
If there's a war going on and Germany invading us, you ain't getting an EasyJet flight to Tenerife.
Yeah, but there's ways out. Not everyone's ever fought in wars, have they? But I just don't believe in the art of war.
Yeah, I can imagine you saying that to the Germans as they're fucking kicking your door down. Listen, lad.
But what have we done to get them... in this hypothetical world, what have we done to get them coming?
I don't know. I don't know why the war had started with Germany, but...
I need context, but no,
I know what you mean, though.
I wouldn't pick up a gun and fight, no, not a fucking chance.
I can understand why people say they wouldn't want to go to Ukraine and Russia. You think, what the fuck have we done to get involved in that? But I think it's different if your country was getting invaded. Like, if World War II and the Germans are bombing cities and they're trying to attack, that's different than getting sent to Russia to try and sort out fucking Putin.
But when you... This is my problem with it, right? If that was to happen, they would say, right, regular civilians from this age to this age, you're getting enlisted, you've gone in. At what point are you too good to go?
What, they go, George, you've got a belt of
no,
podcast,
not me. I'm saying...
You don't have to fight.
In my brain, I'd be thinking, right, all right, you're fucking sending me away from my kids and my wife to go and fight this fucking fight that I don't even believe in. Why aren't you coming?
Because Boris Johnson will probably go, because I'm the fucking leader.
Yeah, but the fucking thousands of millions below him, why aren't you coming?
They would be.
No, what I find is that they just send out the knobheads and we'll just, fight that for us, go ahead, please.
Well, yeah, probably, but...
No, not on my fucking watch. I'm going nowhere.
Let's hope that no one tried to invade us, because you wouldn't be standing next to Jordan anyway.
No, I'll be out of here, me.
I love this. I'll be out of it. The whole world is at war, and you seem to think, I'll be out of here, me. Where? Cuba.
Oh, what a touch. Out with your phone watching it. Fucking hell, love, it's kicking off here. Good, I'd still find a way to bet.
You need that fucking helmet.
Fuck that. Nah, it's just not for me, lad.
You'd be texting me going, lad, I don't know if you're busy or not, but the 220 a Haydock, lad, get on it.
Hey, and is it heavy out there? It's a bit cold in Cuba, I'm not gonna lie. No.
Yeah, anyway, so I don't know where...
Would you go now?
No. What the fuck, lad? I've done my fucking bit, lad.
Imagine that. Andy, you're in. I'm fucking done my shift.
No, I just think, though, lad, that this... The reason I don't think nothing will happen with Russia is because if it does, it's fucking game over for the whole world.
Yeah.
No one wins.
See you later.
Like, no one wins.
Red buttons are getting pressed, aren't they?
Do you know what I mean? I just think it's a fucking dick swinging competition, and Putin's got the biggest length.
Yeah, he's got a fucking schlong. I just don't... mate, I don't... Am I stupid to think this? I don't think anything can be solved by fighting.
It's like a proper open-ended question, that, isn't it?
No, but I mean, there's no problem in the world on that scale that can be solved by trading deaths.
But you know, in war and in the world, the history of the world, no one remembers the losers don't get a shout.
Yeah.
Like, the losers don't decide.
Yeah, I know.
So whether you win by force, that's it, you've won.
Be interesting to get your view on this. So, do you know your success in Afghanistan? Would you say
even that's debatable, isn't it?
No, but for example, all right, when you sit and you look at your time there, or wherever you might have been, is your success what you put in place to help people, or the direct fight you had?
Probably it's both, isn't it? Because you can't put the things in place you want without destroying the enemy.
Yeah,
so it's a bit of both.
It's a very good point, but it's like that same way, you know, they're coming to invade us, so they're basically coming to take our land. I just don't think it's how I see it is like sitting across the table and going, right, we'll trade you, I don't know, 3,000 deaths of our people. We'll take 1,500 deaths of yours. How are we further down the line for solving this problem that we've got between us?
Yeah, but you're making it sound very fucking black and white. It's not, is it, lad? I don't know what country will have. Russia have got their reasons why they feel that there's part of Ukraine that they want, that they want back, that they believe is theirs. And it's like, we're having it. And it's just a big game of chess by going, we'll push and we'll push and we'll push, and we might not get it all, but we might get half of it by being a bully and being threatening. And the world can threaten us and say, if you do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But actually, will they? Fuck it, let's push. And listen, if thousands of people die, but they get what they want, do you think Putin's arsed?
No, fucking right. But you're dealing with lunatics there, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, but I think,
But fighting, as horrible as it sounds, fighting, we've done it since we've been on this earth.
I agree with regulated combat.
Regulated?
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, for example,
when is combat ever regulated?
I love mixed martial arts, I love boxing. Like, a human against a human fighting is fine, but, like, when you're starting to take fucking machine guns and stuff.
Yeah, but the whole... I feel like you're very like, let's all fucking sing Come By Adam.
No, I'm not though, but I'm not at all, but there's more ways of solving issues than our guns are fucking well bigger than yours, so we're taking that bit of land.
Is there though?
Yeah, if the world like just fucking was thinking in a different way. What?
Yeah, but I'm saying, in an ideal world, diplomacy 100% every day of the week. However, I know lads, it was World War One, 1914, not that long ago, just over 100 years ago. You'd think they'd learn the lesson then, and then 20 years later,
I need to say this without being like
1939. There's another war. You'd think they'd learn the lesson then, and then I think, mate, there's some mad stat where if you go back in time, there's been like probably 100 years where there's been no war.
I know, but
something so
I need to be like respectful because I don't want to disrespect anyone who's like lost somebody, or for example, you's been out in wars. But if wars worked, why is there be more than one?
Well, because they do work in certain situations, don't they?
Well, if World War One would have worked, why was the World War Two? Obviously, not it's black and white in that, but if you'd have got to the point where you were like, right, World War One worked, we settled this, you wouldn't have had to. Obviously, the problem moves down the line, but you wouldn't have to then go to war again. Do you know what I mean?
Well, things change,
it's just like
don't
a
they,
fucking hamster wheel of. It's like you said before, I think most wars are a dick swinging contest. I don't think they actually solve much.
Okay then, so yeah, you're Churchill, right? Adolf Hitler has got his dick out, he starts swinging it, he wants to invade England. Now you go, Adolf, come on mate, let's talk about this. We don't all have to start getting our machine guns out, let's talk. Hitler goes, well, I don't want to talk and I've got a big fucking gun there, so move out the way. What you do, go, I don't want to sacrifice all my people, or go on then. What do you do?
I understand that, but...
So war does work because Churchill said, no, fuck you, and then we beat him in the war.
Okay, but for example, you take that back to your personal life, right? If Albert came to you and said, sort of like, oh, someone in school is saying this to me, would your reply be, right, get the fucking biggest thing you can, just whack them and take a bit of space back?
Obviously not.
But that's what I mean. So
yeah,
if we're not teaching that at the core, at what point does it go, right, that's what we should do?
Because you're saying it in a very idealistic way, aren't you?
No, I'm just saying in general terms.
You have took fucking Adolf Hitler invading fucking the half of Europe to... If your daughter got fucking threatened in school, what advice would you give to her?
No, I'm not directly like comparing the two, but what I'm saying is if all of us just decided to live in a way of, right, if you come at me and you threaten me, my first response will be to threaten right back and fight back.
Of course, but you've come back. We've gone right round in circles. There are dickheads in the world.
Yeah.
If we can't fucking stop some little white kid in America sitting in his ma's basement on a gamer, preaching hate and being racist, you got fucking no chance of asking Putin to put his dick away and stop swinging it in our faces.
Yeah, but I guess that's the fucking problem, innit? We just live in a world of cunts, but why do people like me and you have to then go and fight that battle? That's my problem with it.
We're nice guys.
We're fucking not, because I'm going nowhere. But that's my point, like. And
you're saying it though in a very, and this is getting a bit political now, you sound a little bit like Jeremy Corbyn, in the sense that he was like, oh, why don't we just tax all these people here, and why don't we do, and on the basis of it, tax all those rich people, and let's not go to war, and let's try and help people who are homeless, and you're saying all the right things, and I agree, don't disagree with anything you're saying, but the reality of the situation is, the world is fucked. There are a load of bellends in the world, there are loads of dick-swinging, power-hungry psychopaths that live in the same world where you're trying to be all angelic, and let's all help each other, and that doesn't fucking work.
No, and I totally agree with that, because I know full well that the world's a bad place, but the problem I have is going back to the start of the conversation. These people will have we done half fucking time with it?
I just put it for 45.
These people will then, so for example, they get into Winston Churchill, Adolf Hitler, sort of people like that. They organise war, for example, and then they go, "Come on, lads, go and fucking do it for us." How is that? In what world does that make fucking sense? You started it. You go and fucking fight him one-on-one.
Okay, but let's just say then, how would you feel if we had an army, like the British Army, and Churchill and Hitler said, all right then, sound. So Churchill's got all his men on standby, right? Hitler's got all his men on standby. And you're thinking, you know what? Our army would probably beat Hitler's. But Hitler goes, hang on then. What we'll do, rather than sacrificing all our soldiers, me and you will go for a straightener. And if I win, I take over England. And if you win, you can take over Germany, right? Now, even though Great Britain have got a better army and would win 9 times out of 10 against Germany, Hitler is a fucking black belt and Churchill's a big fat bastard. As a British soldier who knows that if your leader's going to go and have a straightener and gets beat, your country's getting taken over by Germans, what are you thinking then?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to change how you fucking promoted your leaders.
There you go.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be...
All these leaders would be like fucking...
It'd be a good will, because you wouldn't have big fat knobheads in charge.
Yeah, you just have loads of juiced up MMA fighters.
Fucking right, yeah, they just go to the death. But yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. I don't believe like the world's angelic and stuff like that. Certainly, like, not, I agree with what Corbyn says a lot of the time, but not all of that stuff. But I just don't, in my opinion, and which is why I said I need to be respectful to like people who've been to wars and that. I don't understand what problem it ever solves, apart from, I mean, on a grander scale of like, world wars where it is just a dick swinging contest. I've spoke to you about things, where you've gone into certain places and then you've given, people hope in that. I think that's what a military should do. They should go into places and leave them places better than they went in. But I don't think if you have a war, a fist on fist, gun on gun war, you never leave the place you've gone in better than when you got there. And that just...
Yeah, people, you could disagree about that though. When Hitler and the Nazis were taking over in the Second World War, again, they were just going through Europe, until, we intervened and started having a fight back with them. So the argument is there, Belgium, France are now, living in peace because, we pushed back against them and we fought against them. So war, in that sense, after, the 4 years of fighting, when it did end, thankfully, France was in a better place than it would have been.
That's preservation, innit? That's like, causing things not to get worse. Whereas, if we just didn't live in a fucking time where people thought, right, the best way to solve things is by shooting, then
I just think
we wouldn't have to fix these fucking places, would we?
If we're talking all idealistic circumstances, I would just love when, you bank at treble at the weekend, they're all the favourites, they all should win. That's just like saying that.
No, I get what you're saying.
Why when I do a footy bet and they're all favourites and they all should win, why did they not always win? Yeah,
but the fact we don't live in an idealistic world doesn't mean that you should normalise the fact that to win things it is just by complete and utter violence.
You only have to look how we started talking the Russia-Ukraine thing, mate. London is the money laundering capital of the world. All the Russians are pumping the billions through London. And that's why there's saying all these Tory parties come out today, all these Tory party members have all had backhanders from Russian companies and Russian oligarchs and all that, mate. So it's fucked.
We live in a fucked up world is what the thing is what the the summary is, but it's just, I don't know, it's just...
I feel like this Patreon's been about us trying to fucking solve the world's problems.
Don't mind that though, I think people will enjoy that side of it. I mean, sometimes it's going to be funny, but sometimes it'll be this, but... I think, do you want a funny one? Just how long we got? About 15 minutes. Someone said longer the better last week, so just fucking keep going. So we've gone from possibility of World War III breaking out to men drinking pink gin, wearing trainers without socks, with a gap between the ankle and jeans. Thoughts?
So what one? Pink gin?
Gin. Nobody in the world likes gin and tonic. You're all just pretending. Every one of you that thinks they like it.
I'll be honest, on holiday, I have been known to have an Orange Valencia gin. Only on a date though. I wouldn't drink it when I was with the lads.
Exactly.
There are certain drinks, though, that you drink when you're with a bird or when you're with the lads.
I would never drink a gin and tonic.
Not with your missus.
No.
There are certain drinks you drink when you're with your missus. For example...
Would you drink gin on it? Like, would you like the taste of gin?
We don't drink it on its own.
No, but if you had a sip of gin, would you go, oh, would like horrible,
it's
innit?
not my preferred drink.
Would you ever buy a tonic water? Like, out the shop, would you drink tonic on its own?
No.
So why do you like it when both goes together then?
Because sometimes in a nice bar...
You like the thought of the glass and that. It's not gin and... Nobody in the world likes gin and tonic.
The bubble glass or something called that.
Fucking rank. Makes you cry.
But for example, when I'm with the lads, I'll just drink lager.
Gin and tonic.
What?
I did you out with the lads. I'll just have a gin and tonic, me.
Do you know when I was going for my world record, I was drinking gin and slimline.
Was she, yeah?
No calories, but I could still go out and have a couple of drinks.
Yeah, I couldn't drink gin and tonic, like.
So
I drank it once and cried my eyes out.
Did you? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I drink it now and again. Yeah, but I don't drink wine when I'm out with the lads, but if I'm on a date, I'll drink a glass of wine.
Yeah, I've seen you drink wine, red wine.
No, white. I'm all white wine. I think I had one with your half of red wine.
Fucking devil juice, that stuff, mate.
I'll have white wine, but... Anyway, that's not... You don't do any of that no more. That's a past life, like.
Sober me now, 50 days.
Is it?
Mm.
I've went about 12 hours sober. I was out last night.
Lad, honest to God, I feel great, but... Testing times ahead, I reckon.
What's the other one then? The gin and tonic. So, I don't...
Men drinking pink gin is the question.
Pink gin, only... I'm going to say one's allowed if you're on a date and you're on holiday.
I say no. It's fucking rank. Don't drink it.
Never with the lads, though.
Yeah, unless you're trying to tell them something. Wearing trainers without socks with a gap between the ankle and the jeans.
Nah. No. That's it. No.
I would never wear jeans that were too small for me on purpose. You know, where they're like they rest above your ankle. But I have often wore, like, do you know them socks where it's like, you know, it's not kind of a sock, it just goes over your toes and your heel. I've often wore them.
With jeans?
Yeah. But I've never wore... But, like, you've been out with me, you can't tell.
Yeah, but if you sat down, though, and your jeans came up a bit and you could see you had no socks on...
I've done it. I do it all the time with trackies, like...
Yeah, trackies is fine, but jeans, you've got to look like you've got socks on when you wear jeans.
I think my biggest problem with all that is the ones that finish above your ankle. You shouldn't wear jeans that are too small for you. It's like ripped jeans.
Like roll-ups or something.
Yeah, but you shouldn't wear ripped jeans either. When did destroying your clothes become cool?
I think I might have in the past, you know. I haven't got any at the moment. I think there's a look, isn't there? And I'm not into that look. Listen, if you see me out and about, I've probably got trackies on. And if you see me out on a night out, I've probably got jeans on and a plain t-shirt with a plain pair of trainers. I like the Simon Cowell look. Just plain tops.
Pure high kicks.
Not the high kicks, no, that was a bad shout.
What chest size are them kicks?
Mate, honestly, it sounds thingy because there are sponsors. Day to day, I'm in Montrex, and then over weekends, I'll have Veer on.
I don't remember the last day I didn't wear something Montrex.
I know, but even though the Veer stuff, I just wear just a plain top.
Joe, since so when was my last night? I went to pub the other day. What I was trying to say is the last time I went drinking. Obviously, because that's the only time I'd wear anything of note.
Yeah.
But that side of my wardrobe is just collecting dust. God knows what I'm going to wear at the quiz. But yeah, what have we got else here? The fact everyone seems to be a yoga teacher, life coach, PT, and about 23 years of age on Instagram at the moment.
Scream it louder so we can hear at the back.
Fraud.
Was that me who fucking wrote that? Who said that?
It was TSB, his name is.
TSB, fucking you're my new best mate.
It's a cool synonym.
I can't stand it.
No.
22-year-old PTs who've been in the gym 5 minutes, the body's not even finished developing yet, telling you how to do this, how to do that, how to diet. You've got, you know, someone who bloody 27 who went through a tough time, got through it, and now thinks that the fucking Jedi Yoda are fucking teaching everyone how to become great again.
Do you know what I love? There must be a teacher who does it, because they all start their videos the same way. Hi guys, just thought to jump on here.
Yeah. Hi guys, just thought I'd do a quick one. But you know what else I fucking hate?
Loads of you been asking.
No one's asking. No one's asking, mate. No one's asked about your little quotes that you've heard off an American speaker and you're going to try and blend it as your own. Not asked. Stop trying to fucking get me to fucking...
Go and do some real shit. Go to a war.
You know what I think, though? Anything? I got me wound up TSB, lad. The whole...
That was like me with the war about 10 minutes ago.
But you know what, though? I fucking hate it. People trying to just... I think if you've got a qualification in something and you've been doing it for a long time or whatever, great. I think you're in a position then to maybe, yeah, or you've been through something yourself, da-da-da, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fucking, you know, do a fucking 6-week course or, you know, fucking, don't know, go through a bit of a tough time and then think, you know what? I'm going to start making money off this. I'm going to start fucking charging people to do this and do that when you've not got your own shit together. That's why I've never, ever went through like a kind of, oh, everyone come and fucking listen. Because I fucking still haven't got all the answers myself. And I've been through some fucking shit. But I still would never preach to someone and say, oh, you need to do this and you need to do that. And it's like...
There's no such thing as a life coach.
Oh.
You cannot be coached through life.
I've been coached through... they called themselves a life coach. It was this woman. She doesn't do it anymore. Tiffany Kay. She was a great woman. She was called a life coach. But I spoke to her about the motivational speaking. So she was like a career coach.
Yeah, but that's what... Like,
do you know what I mean?
For example, some of the work I do is on careers. Like, you can give people advice. Look, this didn't work for me. Maybe try that. But you cannot be... No. You cannot say, right, I'm your life coach, so I'm going to show you how to eat, sleep, do your finances, not argue with your partner, be the best parent you've ever done, clean your house. It doesn't, you cannot have someone to tell you that stuff. It doesn't work.
It's good to have mentors and stuff like that, but back to the point, you know, listen, you are not an expert at, you know, physical fitness, life advice, fucking yoga, meditation, all that at like fucking 22. And you see some of these people on Instagram. Get to fuck. If you're doing that, go out, get some life experience and stop trying to rip people off with your shitty courses of well-being and fucking wellness.
Andy fucking hate you. But at what point does it come from like positive reinforcement to like fraud? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not even going to name them, but I see people on there and I'm like...
Name them, shit.
You are being a fraudster. Do you know what I mean? I fucking hate it.
But... For example, like, you know, just, for example, keeping it on to me for a minute, we're talking about the sober stuff. So say, for example, I did a certain amount of time sober, and then I'm not saying I'm going to, but I'm just trying to bring up something. Say if I did, you know, I don't know, 10 months, and I then was on Instagram and said, oh, this is what I've done, it's positive, anyone got a problem, just let me know, I'll show you sort of who I spoke to or whatever. Is that preaching or is that positive? That's not me saying I'm going to do it. I'm just trying to find the balance between...
I think it's preaching if every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Every 2 minutes you're doing it, and then maybe you're trying to then charge people as well. I think it's a bit...
It's when it becomes a business, isn't it?
I look at someone like Lee Butler, for example, right?
Yeah.
That is someone who got to know quite well, and it's a genuine kind of thing he's doing. He's trying to help people, and you know what I mean? I think something like that all the time for... And listen, he's not 21. He's been through his fucking life.
He's seen
do you know what I mean?
Shit,
He's not thinking, oh, this is a little business plan, or I've got like... He's not being... No problem with that at all. He boss what he's doing. What I have an issue with is someone in like the early 20s who've thought, you know what, a couple of years of the pandemic here, everyone's feeling a bit shit. I want to start doing this.
I'm going to show you, turn your life around.
Yeah. And it's like, are you though? Are you really? That's what I have an issue with.
Yeah, I think that you've just summed up what I was trying to say. People like Lee Butler, and you know, it's not just about drinking or recovery, but you know, people who are just positive and they're just like, look, you know, this is how I've done this, but you know, if you would like some help, just give me a DM, I'll show you. That's positive, isn't it?
Yeah.
But where's the lines blurred between positive and fraud, innit?
Throw the line in, you got the PTs, the wellness experts, or throw a trader in there. You see on your Instagram when you scroll.
Trader, I get so many of them.
Everyone's them.
Why do I look like I do trading?
Hey, if you want to make $27 million this morning, then fucking drop me a message and give me your email. No.
You can copy my trades.
You want to fucking get a 8-pack in fucking 2 minutes? Fucking no. So yeah, I fucking hate it all, lad.
Fuck them all. So good question, I like it. We haven't got that long left, so we'll do a few of these next week's.
I feel like I'm being dead negative.
You're not being negative.
Anyone who wants to turn their life around, great, and all that, but sort your own shit rather than try and make money off other people's misery first.
Yeah, 100%. The last one, would you ever, this is where we're finishing, would you ever train as a teacher?
No.
Because you're fucking kicking against the tide, aren't you? I'd only change if they allowed me to change the whole fucking curriculum, but I reckon if I was a primary school teacher in Liverpool, they probably wouldn't let me do that.
A few reasons, right? Yeah, you'd want to just fucking change the world, you lads, if you were a teacher.
Just in a nice way, though, fucking like each other.
In a positive way.
You don't think that's possible?
It's not. I get to work in schools quite a bit and I do enjoy it, but I think teachers are just so underappreciated.
Oh.
They're so overworked. They don't get the respect that they deserve, and
most teachers go into that profession with the purest of intentions to help the younger generation, but I think the hands are tied to a certain degree.
100%. I think the kids are not respectful enough. We talk about social media society these days. Kids seem to be getting worse.
There's loads of shit parents, that's why.
Yeah.
And do you ever, sorry to go off on one, do you ever go out with your daughter, and I'm not saying, I'm not a perfect parent, by the way, I've got loads to learn, but do you ever see fucking terrible parents and just think, oh my
God. You know what my little parent's top tip is, and apologies if anyone does this, George, you might do it, I'm sorry, what I never ever do, I never ever, you know what, the odd few times I have in the house, and I mean less than 5 times I've like roared at her and shouted at her, probably less than 5. You know, when we're outside as well, never ever raise my voice at her and speak to her like that. You know what I hate? When I see parents like screaming, effing and blinding at the kids.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? What is that gaining? You're shouting and screaming, swearing at your kid in public. Like, whether it's, I don't know, in the street, on the bus, with, like, fucking get here now, fuck.
Yeah, I hate that. It's horrible. I would never do that. To be honest, with my kids at the minute, if something happens and like I look at them a certain way,
oh yeah,
they're like, oh shit. Yeah. But like, nah, I mean, I know what you're saying. I've raised my voice at my kid. I've not shouted at them, gone, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Fucking hell. But I've said like, I've said the name in a loud tone, like, "Come on," do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like,
I've got this kind of Jose Mourinho kind of vibe with her, where I'm like, sound okay, you do that, and we're just not. And she's like, no, Dad, I'm sorry, you know. Yeah. Like, I'll just speak to her and just try and be adult with her and go, well, look, if you're doing X, Y, and Z, then I'm not going to do this for you. So
most of the time, I just find myself saying, like, to my daughter, "Come on, love." Like, do you know, like, come on.
That's different than shouting and screaming.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. To be honest, I just can't. Swearing at kids is my.
I never swear.
I was in the day I told you, actually, I was in Liverpool Museum, right? In they've got this little bit. I don't know if you've seen, as you go in, there's like water and that in there, like the kids play. So just on the right, got like boats and that. And mate, there was this kid and he was about 9. But he like, so my kids are in there who were younger and that, and he's like walking around, he's like splashing everywhere. He's like, and the dad's just going. I was like, just fucking tell your kid, there's other kids there, be a bit careful.
Yeah.
But he's just going, stop it, Caleb. Stop it. Say fucking Caleb. That was his name. I'll never forget the kid either. But you could tell he was just, no one's ever, that's what I'm trying to say with you, no one's ever said to him, no, stop doing it.
I tell Alan no a lot, But I know, I love going into schools, I love trying to have a positive impact on kids, but I wouldn't want to do it for the reason I've already said, but also I love my life now, I love my jobs that I've got now, I love the speaking, I love the podcast, I love the free time I have with my daughter. And I wouldn't want to give that up. It's
interesting, like I'm sort of doing something at the minute, as you know, where I'm like trying to help younger people in terms of the next steps, but I just couldn't teach the curriculum because I don't believe in it, so I'd struggle. But yeah, it's a very, very noble profession, but you know, the kicking against the tide a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I've loved this week.
Yeah, got a bit deep there, trying to save the world, but
nothing wrong with that. I reckon people will have thoughts on. Do you know what's good when we're both on different sides of the coin?
That's what we are, quite like you say, we are very similar, but we do have different opinions.
I think we've got the same ethics, haven't we? Like we live our lives in a very similar way, but I think But
George thinks Liverpool won't win the league. I think they will.
No, they won't. Fucking no chance. But
George is half a Tory.
No.
Boris Johnson, he's took a leaf out of Boris's book and
tell you what,
not apologising.
You owe me £10
from
last week on the Sportcast. You said St Helens would get beat, and they fucking won and battered them.
Okay.
So, £10.
I haven't got it on me right now.
Who has pockets up there? Why do people always share? Well, yeah, back again next week. Usual spot.
Will we see people?
This is the last one. No, this is the last one, isn't it?
For the quiz, won't it?
Yeah. So we'll have quiz stories.
Yeah. Next week will be all about the quiz.
Yeah, loved it. So
let us know who's right, whose fault it was that no Patreon this week.
Don't let us know your thoughts on war.
Yeah. That's not what you think.
Yeah.
Thanks again for the support. Means loads, and we see you all on Monday.
Yeah. Monday 21st. Thank you.
Boss.